Is Delisa West on her Pathways Visionary Communication doing Develop Your Vision number one. Her title is Reinventing Myself Again and Again and Again. Delisa has stepped into new interesting worlds with trepidation, fear, and courage for the past 50 years. Listen as she shares her journey up until now and her vision for the future. Delisa West.
Thought it was so appropriate when I looked yesterday and saw that the topic was vision, and I'm in visionary communication, and my last final project is to talk about a vision. So here we go. The vision is what pulls you into the future, or you can just live a life where you're pushed and pulled and you're reacting to life. I am going to share with you a couple of visions that I've had and that I have gone into in my life. The first one I can remember creating that I really, 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 really longed for was I wanted in my 30s to get married and have kids. In fact, for a few years, I dated people, and on the first date, I said, I want to get married and have kids. I want to get married and have kids, married and have kids, married and have kids. One of my friends said, honey, that might be too much for the first date. So I slowed my roll a little bit. But I remember exactly 31 years ago, I had my first child. And the day after, I was sitting in the living room looking out the sunny window in Seattle, holding my little baby. And I was thinking to myself, I did it. I'm married and I have a kid. And I was filled with so much joy. I thought the joy is as big as this room. No, it's as big as this house. It's as big as this whole city I sit in. I just felt so happy and joyful. Then life happened. And for the next many, many years, I just lived wherever life was pushing me, pulling me, going here, going there, reacting to what life was giving me. And during COVID, I got the chance to work with a vision again in a really deep way. I remember the day it was shut down in COVID. You can't do anything. Don't leave your house. La da da. And I went to my computer. At the time, I was a real estate broker. And I opened up my computer thinking, I'm so happy. I can't do any real estate appointments today. And then there's another part of my brain that said, wait a minute. Oh, honey, you're really happy that you can't do your job? Maybe that's not your job anymore. And that is the day I decided to become a life coach. And in my emails that I was looking through was an invitation to study with someone that I had met in person. And I dove deep. One of the things they had us do in this coaching program, before they signed you up and before you did any work, they took you in a time machine where you saw what your life would look like if your vision was complete. So I invite you now for a moment, everyone. Think of something you've been longing to do or be or have that's been pulling on your heartstrings for many years. What would it be like if it all worked out? What if I could wave a magic wand and it all worked out and it's 3 years from now? Where would you be? Who would you be with? And what would you be doing? Maybe even more importantly, who would you be now that you've created this vision in your life? The vision I saw when I signed up to study for coaching was, to my shock, since I lived in Seattle, I saw myself living in a small town with a nice climate, in a house on a hill, and down below the house was a sacred grove of trees where I taught my coaching clients. And off in the distance was some water. And I knew for sure that I lived in a small town with a nice climate and cool people. And I'll tell you what, it's 3 years from I dreamed up this vision, 3 years from when I did that. I had an inkling then, but I had to grow into really believing it. I now live in Southern California in a small town with pretty cool people and a very nice climate. I'm a life coach. I'm an artist. I'm a dream doula. My vision that I saw back then has pretty much happened, and even in a better way, even more. I don't have that house yet, but I know I will. So I invite you to consider that if you have a clear vision of where you're going, a clear vision, and you just take one step from where you are with what you can consistently, and if you start to believe that you are the person that's living that beautiful dream, in fact, that dream that you might think is out in the future, you need to believe it, as Meredith said, as if it's happening right now, because right now is all we have. We're in the right now, and that's how we create our vision driven life. So the key is this: ask yourself often, what would I love? What would I love? And live from there. So, what would you love? Thank you, everybody.